Welcome to We're Probably Not Okay, the podcast where we make fun of mental well-being. The cadence of that was terrible, but I'm David Musgrave, the man kissed by every single angel. And with me, as always, is...
I think he's pointing to you, Ryan.
He's pointing at you on my screen.
Is he? Oh, he's pointing at me too. I'm the best angel of all, actually. The angel with David's finger up him in the video. Okay, so for our listeners at home, we are on video right now.
It's only weird. Yeah. It's not weird because Brandon's a finger puppet.
Yeah.
I'm a finger puppet. That's something that you guys actually, if you're going to watch the video that we'll put up.
You've never noticed before, yeah.
If you're watching us on YouTube right now, all of this makes sense. If it's the audio podcast that you normally listen to, go check it out on YouTube after you listen to it in its entirety and tell your friends and family and subscribe and like. And
yes,
definitely download it first. Yeah,
says the shepherd of the forest, Brandon Full, and also with us is the best, I would say, out of all of us is this guy right here. The moral compass of we're probably not okay. The shining flag that flutters over top of our we're probably not okay building with a man silhouetted behind the flag. The flag not of America, but of we're probably not okay.
This energy. We're being recorded.
Uncomfortable.
We're being recorded and the energy is just completely changed. I love it.
But what else I am is your very best friend, Ryan Brown. And this is what I look like.
Yes, for those of you who don't know.
You're welcome.
For those of you who don't know, these are 3 sexy mugs that, get used to.
So, what's the plan going forward? Are we trying to do these as, like, YouTube videos every episode?
Hold on, this is the plan right now.
Oh, we're just going to pose for the camera?
Yeah, that was it. Okay, yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'd like to do this. I think it's a little more interactive. I think it's fun. So we'll go from there. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's just get normal. Let's pretend like we've been here before. And let's go with mental well-being check-in because we call it something different every single time, but that's what it is, and that's how we start this podcast. I'm pretty sure.
It's not the mental health, wellness, check-in, well-being.
The being of humankind that tells us how you are. And I'm going to point at the person that I want to do it first. It was Ryan.
A race then, Brandon.
Oh.
I think Brandon got so excited that he got frozen in the feed for a second there. But Ryan, I would like to hear how you've been.
I'm stuck in time, bro. Man, not great. Let me tell you that. I got after 3 or some odd years, I finally got COVID, and I'd gone this whole time without having it, and I finally got it, and it fucked my world up big time. It was a disaster. I was off work for like 5 days, which is the most I think I've ever been off work. And I collapsed at one point. That was pretty terrible. In like a puddle of sweat because I had just like the most bananas fever I think I've ever had in my life. But I'm fine now, except for my voice still sounds a little Ron Perlman-y.
Nope.
So
it's sexy as fuck. You're rocking it out, man.
Well, I'm glad. Yeah. I mean, that was the biggest thing that happened to me.
How many people how many people in your family got it other than you?
Everyone.
Went right through them?
Everyone. But it was different. Like, it wasn't as bad for everyone else because everyone else has had it multiple times already. And I mean, I'm super vaccinated. I've been vaccinated like 4 or 5 times at this point. And I guess like once it finally broke through, it was like, you motherfucker.
Or
You thought you had
or
all the shots.
or you got the super version of it and you kicked its ass for everybody else.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's one way to look at it.
You
Yeah.
saved the planet.
Thank you,
And
Ryan.
all it took was 5 days off of work.
Listeners, everyone thank Ryan for his
Yeah.
forced time off work.
You're all extremely welcome.
Thank you, man.
But other than that, not a whole lot has been going on because like I said, I spent a long while just trying not to die. I did go back to the gym because of course I couldn't go to the gym when you have COVID because you don't want to transmit it to everybody.
Right?
And so I didn't. But then when I had a clean bill of health, I went back and it was a fucking disaster because I apparently was not completely back to like full HP or something because my first day back I was like super weak and over exhausted and like my coach came over and was like, "Hey, are you okay?" And it's like, "Oh, had to ask me that, didn't you? Like you could tell that I wasn't, so you had to ask."
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guarantee you, side by side, if you and I would have gone to that gym, you still would have kicked my ass. So, for what it's worth, I'm sure you're getting back there and well beyond my physical capabilities.
Well, I'm trying. I'm trying. I was back in the dojo on Sunday, so that was good. And it was didn't have the experience of being particularly weak or exhausted or anything like that. So I
Good.
think I'm probably okay now.
Good. Good. Glad to hear, man.
Mhm.
This virus and the next can't take down Ryan Brown. So glad to hear you're
I mean,
getting.
I'm still here.
glad to hear it. Glad to see it.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a real sad podcast if you died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just some explaining to do. Took 3 weeks off, and all of a sudden, it's down to 2 people now.
No, we would have replaced you already. Don't worry.
With who? I want to know.
Never mind. we got nobody. No one can replace Ryan Brown.
Yeah.
Chad, you can get Chad. Chad will do it.
Chad would probably do it. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon, what up, bro?
Hey.
The energy is a lot different with the video, by the way. I think I would have done that a lot differently. Otherwise, but I'm like, what's up? What's up, bro?
Is it
Brandon,
because of the
really
yellow lighting?
I really
Yeah.
appreciate your hair.
Hell yes. Yeah, your hair is fucking like this is sexual harassment if we all work together in a workplace. But I'd be like,
Yeah.
did you do something different with your hair?
The problem
'Cause
is I'm
you're
also
looking-
HR.
It's true.
Oh.
He is the HR of our
Horty
corporation.
Randy.
That's what it means. Yeah. That's what it means.
But yeah, overall things have been all right. I mean, things have been going along. I'm still dealing with some of the stuff with my kid that I talked about with her health problems, although it is on an upwards trajectory, which is great. Work, I've had issues with that. I got cut down from full-time to part-time hours, and I lost my insurance because of that, because insurance is only for closers, I guess. So
Go to patreon.com/we're probably not okay to help subsidize Brandon's.
there you go.
Help
Insurance
us buy our
man.
medicines.
I mean,
Yeah,
basically at this point, let's do it.
I'm down one medicine already. We'll see how many I can go off of. Like they're pulling the cores out of Dave out of Hal. That's what I feel like as I lose my medications. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
Yeah.
That sucks. And all jokes aside,
Yeah, no, it sucks. I'm trying to keep a positive attitude about it because what else can I do? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I've been in a weird headspace, But I've been in a weird headspace for I feel like years at this point. And I'm kind of at a loss right now as to where to go or what to do. Like I know I need to find a second job to make up the hours or find a job, full-time job with insurance again. I know I need to help with the things going on with my kid, which I'm in the process of doing. So really the whole point that I need right now is to find more income somehow. But that's all I know. You know what I mean? And that's what fucking everybody our age knows is, hey, we need to find more income.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's been stressful. Money's fucking stressful. I don't know if you knew this, guys. Money's kind of stressful.
Well, have you considered, and this is just something I've been kicking around a lot lately, and I haven't really brought it to anybody, just sort of, no bad ideas. Have you considered violent revolution?
I consider violent revolution a lot. I'm also considering a game, and if you guys want to get in on the ground floor of this game, I think I mentioned it to you before, maybe. I'm making a game about wizards that are fighting.
Tell me more.
Rules for it. I'm doing a tabletop role-playing game.
Oh, yeah. I actually do know this.
Take it to a con.
Yeah. So, actually, I love this idea. I don't know how much you want to gamify it. Never mind. We're going to talk offline because I got thoughts. I got lots of thoughts.
I want to gamify it quite a bit.
I got thoughts. How many dice do you want? Do we want dice? Is it just card based? Is it a deck building system? I got thoughts. Trust me. I know you want to you want to go with like potion building up front. Never mind. We'll talk offline. I'm getting too excited.
I want to go with spell building specifically.
Yeah.
Spell building. All the spells are modular. Each portion of spells have different points. So it's like I want to range spell, so that's 2 points. And then I want to do fire, so that's 1 point. So that's 3 points there. That's a 3rd level spell. Boom, done.
And then defensive spells and stuff like that too, because you think maybe the person you're going up against is. Anyway, we can talk offline.
Yeah, I had a lot of plans. As I was falling asleep tonight, I was thinking about rules for underwater fighting. So.
Shit!
I want to get in on it, and I think it would be cool. But anyway,
do you roll a dice to see what terrain you're in?
You can. I was thinking that you would like. What I was thinking is I want to do this like competition style, like you go to your local game store and bring your own wizard, like your leveled up wizard. And then you see the terrain, you have a third party, the referee build the terrain for you. And then you have a certain amount of time, like maybe 20 minutes, it's timed, to build out your spell list based on the terrain you see in front of you. And then you fight as wizards.
Fuck, I'm in. It feels like Final Fantasy Tactics meets D&D meets whatever you want to call this game. You're gonna
Warhammer style.
Yeah. I can see that. Okay.
There's anyway, minis involved. Anyway, enough of that.
Anyway, that's not going to be the episode. I could turn it into that real quick, but that's not going to be the episode.
One more thing I do want to bitch about real quick, and then I'll pass it to you, David.
Please, bitch.
There is a new podcast starting in the area, and I'm not going to name it, but they were getting people on from the community. You know how long I had a fucking podcast in this community? I mean, Ryan, you've had podcasts too. David, you've had podcasts. We've been podcasting for a long fucking time. And I know this sounds petty, but there's part of me that's like, I was doing a podcast in this area. I had stickers up in the comic book stores around here before anybody else even knew what a fucking podcast was. You know what I mean? It's total sour grapes. I know that this is just me being sour grape central right now, but
so are you feeling slighted that they haven't had you come on?
I'm feeling slighted, yes. Which is the most petty thing in the world, and I get it. I really do, because who the fuck am I? It's just
you're a guy who's been doing it for a long time.
Exactly. Nobody has come to me or Remington, the other guy that I did the podcast with, and has asked us. Does anybody ever come to you guys and ask you guys podcasting questions or opinions?
David did.
Yeah, that's true. David did say, "Hey, do you want to start a podcast?"
Yeah, me.
Yeah, he came. Do you want to be on my other podcast? He said to me one time.
Yeah, one time I was like, "Hey, you did a thing," and honestly, secretly, I was just trying to get you to podcast with me in general, and then you had an idea for a mental health podcast, and I was like, "Yeah, that's fucking dope, and let's do it, and maybe let's just do other podcasts and topics together for the rest of our lives because I like you guys and I want you guys to podcast with me."
I've been on other people's podcasts before.
Samesies.
Yeah, I've been on
But
a
it's
couple, and they edited them both down because I talked too much.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
was in an episode of just like one of my friends' podcasts
Mhm.
many years ago, and I was in an episode of a comic book podcast out of Pennsylvania many years ago,
I think
and that's about it, really.
the thing is, I'm not. I should say, now that I've verbalized it, it's helped a lot for me to process my thoughts there. I'm not angry at them. I'm not angry at all. So much as
Mhm.
just annoyed that, that like, especially around here, there's a big community that's like, support your local musicians, support your local businesses, stuff like that. And that's
Mhm.
perfectly fine, and it's something I agree with. But like, if you're supporting your local musician, how hard is it to like subscribe to somebody's podcast, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
This I
yeah.
know this makes for terrible listening probably, and if you decide you want to edit this out, David, you can.
No, 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 no. I think
Because
this is
I hope I don't sound like I'm just bitching
no. This
for the sake of it.
this is a hobbyist podcast conundrum that comes up a lot. I've been on, like, with my last podcast, the People versus Happiness. I was on a couple different podcasts, but honestly, it was because I was reaching out to people. So I've been like on like some podcasts in California. I hooked up with this young lady who was actually near Columbus, who had also kind of like a happiness podcast and just like a general well-being podcast and stuff like that. But it was because I reached out to them and I was like, hey, you want to be on my podcast? I'll be in your podcast, and vice versa. And then you kind of get in this like loop of like people who are doing this kind of thing that want to do that with you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost a quid pro quid. Say the words for me, please. Quid
Quid
pro
pro
quo.
quo.
Squid
Thank you.
Pro.
Squid Games show.
Hmm.
I said it eventually. I'm proud
Yeah,
of
you got
myself.
there.
Anyway, so you kind of have that kind of thing going on, um, but like from like expecting things from your friends and your family, not gonna happen. I just they'd be like, oh yeah, cool, you okay, whatever, cool, but it's really probably not gonna happen because
Okay, so you think it's expecting too much then, or it's and
uh,
legitimately expecting too much for somebody to like go and like a podcast to take like the 2 minutes?
I mean, I think it's too much to expect of a person because people will let you down every single time. And it's not.
Well,
It's
I think it depends for me because, like, I don't know. I'm weird about showing off things I've made anyway. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like, so I should probably promote the show more from my socials as well, except for the fact that, like, I don't know. I'm just weird about. I was the same way about my drawings. If you remember in high school,
Yeah.
Brandon, when we would draw, I would never let anybody see them because I was always weird about showing off anything I've created in front of anyone.
mm,
So
mm.
there is that, like, I don't necessarily I don't know, like, ask people to like and follow me. But I mean, a lot of people do. Like, a lot of my friends definitely do.
I
Well,
think mostly what this is I it comes down to me just being angry. Just me being angry.
End
That's
of
just it.
period. End of
so
statement.
Just a period. Just
sometimes words come after that, but this time they didn't.
no, this time no words needed to
Yeah,
come after.
yeah.
I
No,
think with just as stressed as I've been and everything going on, I'm just finding things to focus my anger on and be like, that pisses
sure,
me off.
Yeah,
sure, sure,
that's a safe thing to get mad about,
sure. I
because there are certain things, like, whenever you're in those states of heightened emotion, there are certain things that have for lack of a better term, low stakes that are okay and safe to get mad about and explode about even sometimes. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
think that's one of those things.
I guess though,
Well, thanks.
that the question is, why do we do this? We have made 50 some episodes now, going on 60, of this show. Brandon, you've done hundreds of another show. Ryan, you've done 100 plus of another show. I've done 50 of another show. Are we doing this because we want our friends to see this? Are we doing this because we want our family to see this? Are we doing this because we want people outside of that group to see this? Or are we doing this because we like this?
Well, I think there's, a little of column A, a little of column B. Well, I think for me personally, I'm doing this because I like doing it. I think it's helpful to do it. I think we can help each other. And I also think maybe to a much smaller degree, we can help some other people too. I'm not being like this will be the thing that we do that, echoes through eternity or whatever. But we can make maybe like 7 people feel a little less alone, and that's not nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. Honestly, if it's going to sound really cheesy, but the number one reason I enjoy doing this is because I get to talk to you too. And honestly,
Yeah.
the number 2 reason I wanted to do this tonight was so that we could look each other in the eyes. I'm looking at you, buddy. No, I'm looking at you, buddy. But by the way, this is Ryan and this is Brandon, and it's going to show.
It's flipped.
It's going to show. It's going to show on my video that I'm recording on OSB though, or OBS though. So that's Ryan. Just so everyone knows, that's Ryan. That's Brandon. That's me, and that's me. But anyway.
Yeah, that is you. That is you.
Yeah,
right
you
there.
are down here.
That's
yeah. Okay. We're good then. We're good. But that is definitely Ryan, and that is definitely Brandon.
Brandon's over there.
No,
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, I see. Look, hey.
Oh, let's do a little Brady Bunch.
Mm-hmm. There he is. That's the guy. And he's down there. Release me!
Oh God, it's like we've never used a camera before.
I know, it's so fun.
I love them.
We did one other time.
We did one other
But
time.
what did we do with it? Did
No
we do
one.
anything with it?
Did you just put
What
up
was that?
Did you just put up an icon?
What the fuck was that? Is it a ghost?
Brandon,
Is our podcast haunted?
Whoa, toast!
It was bread, baby.
How did you make bread happen?
It's a branded sandwich.
Yeah.
In the bottom corner, there's a little smiley face.
I'm
You
not
click
gonna
on
do
that,
it.
And then
Nope.
any emoji, pancakes.
Nope.
Oh shit. Okay.
All right,
This-
yeah, we could easily get distracted.
This
doing
is
that for
also an audio medium.
I know, pancakes.
Speaking of medium,
So David,
yeah.
how have you been? Are you
David
gonna
is
give us
medium.
I also, speaking of medium, David is medium, and I've been about medium, honestly. Oh, would you like that little homonym action for you?
It works.
I have been okay. I hate my job, as you know. I hate my boss, as you know.
He listens. David's boss.
What up, bro?
We hate you.
We hate you. But I
Hate you, buddy.
I've been applying to lots of different things under the sun. And I have been getting a lot of interviews, and I've got several interviews coming up, and I'm probably not going to be in my job much longer. And I also have received an offer for a job that is a global real estate consultant, which is to say that I could possibly help people in the United States find properties in Portugal, which, as you know, I want to move to Portugal myself. I can do that remotely. I can do that from here. I can use that to move to Portugal eventually if I'm successful. So we've taken steps into what was once an an unknown of how to do toward a maybe we can do.
What's the job title again?
It is a global real estate consultant.
That sounds very fancy.
It's not. It's just being like, hey, you want to move to Portugal? Cool. You want to move to this area that I cover? Cool. I know about these properties.
I don't know how to do that.
And
it's three titles. 3 words in the title.
It's 4 words. Global real estate consultant.
Oh, yeah, it is.
4.
But wait, is real estate hyphenated? If so, does that make it all one word?
You're thinking too much into it.
You don't know much about real estate at all, do you, David?
I don't know anything about real estate.
Yes.
My knowledge of real estate extends no farther than that quote from Superman the movie where he says stocks may rise and fall, utilities will collapse, but people will always need land because it's the one thing they're not making any more of. That's all I know about real estate.
But people will always need land.
Mm-hmm.
But people
Always do. And I'm here to help them.
They do.
Yeah, I'm here to help the butt people.
Where are they going to keep their toilets?
Anyway, moral of the story is this is how I'm going to put it. I listened to some music that I used to like a lot today. The Decemberists in particular. And it got me back to like a kind of mentality of where I was like, you know, when I used to believe like anything was possible type of a thing. And I realized in that moment when I was kind of like feeling my old self that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I could walk out today. I'm not going to do it for the sake of my family, but I'm going to continue to apply to other places. I'm going to find something that's a little more me and continue to work toward my goals. So take that for what it is. I'm in a transition period. I'm in like feeling better about life, but I'm also ready. If my boss says something the wrong way, I'm ready to be like, yo, dude.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea what you feel like you should be doing?
Yeah, I know exactly what I should be doing. I should be a counselor. And that's one thing that on the other side of all of this, when the dust settles, whether we're doing this podcast or not, the 3 of us will talk about this, hopefully, is that I'm going to go back to school to become a counselor. That's what I wanted to do to begin with. It's what my grandfather did, the man that I respected more than anyone on this planet. That's what I'm going to do. And I think that it's I don't think it's a, they talk about like recession proof industries and things like that. And I don't think it's necessarily that, because it is somewhat of a luxury, but I think that people are always going to need counselors. And I think it's going to become more and more important. And I think that, with the rise of online counselors, I think it will be easier and easier to do from anywhere in the world. So if I do move to Portugal, get my degree, it's something I can do. And it's something I want to do. And like I've said in the past, Ryan, you actually have kind of inspired me in this area too, because, you work in this industry as well. And it's something that I've always wanted to do and feel like I should be doing. And I think it's something I will be doing before all is said and done. In the meantime, though,
that's awesome,
I have to find a means to an end, though, and that's the process right now. It's find the short term, get out of the job I'm in, but make money, so that I can have sanity, take care of my family, but then find something that will allow me to move to the next phase of my life at the same time. So I'm balancing those things. I don't have answers right now, but I have steps in the right direction for sure. And that's it. And that was 30 minutes of the podcast. And that's okay.
Was it?
Yeah. 'Twas, my friend. 'Twas. But that's good because we haven't talked for a while. And again, that's one of the things I really enjoy about this is just being able to sit down.
It's 30 minutes exactly.
'Twas. But so let's talk about the topic du jour, which, hold on, I've got some really good song lyrics here. Let me pull them up. Nope, I don't actually. I made that
looked
up.
like it hurt. You
Yeah.
making a face like that hurt. I was like,
I
where
don't.
are you keeping those song lyrics?
Yeah. I don't have them actually. So we're just gonna
I'm
move.
not gonna say, but let me just say, my foreskin.
Oh, I don't think that would be
Oh,
like
this
unpleasant.
baby.
Yeah, it'd just be like
What?
schmegma.
What? It wouldn't be unpleasant.
Nah, in your foreskin? You can tuck,
Song lyrics.
you can tuck them in there.
I was pictured like a balled up piece of paper. Or
Nah. Just they
I
just
pictured
tickle.
like a Chinese fortune cookie
No,
size.
they're just like whispers in your foreskin. It's okay.
They
Just so you open your voice. I'm not even going to do the motion.
I think we hit the title of the episode already. Whispers in your foreskin.
Well, that's it.
Brandon's like really getting it.
Oh man!
Here, bud.
Oh whoa! You got a whole album in there, bro.
It's really down.
I was thinking like one or two lines.
Yeah,
elbow deep.
Oh no, there's a full discography in that sucker.
You got Melancholy and Infinite Sadness,
System and everything.
1 and 2 in there. Lord. Anyway. What?
I'm deeply sorry.
We're going to talk about
I'm back.
2023. We're not dating ourselves.
That's my least favorite year so far.
I mean, they're going to get worse. But here we are in the year after that. We're not going to really date ourselves too much. But
I wouldn't date me.
I'd date you.
That's nice.
I see how the cameras like really like sell the jokes.
Yeah, they
Really
do.
getting
They
eyebrow
do.
wiggles.
They do. They can see our faces.
You're
And
missing out if you're just
Brandon's
listening.
cat.
Go to youtube.com/ anyway. And Brandon's cat and that really cool computer behind him.
I know. Look at that. It's like the warp core of the Enterprise.
It is the warp core of the Enterprise.
Oh, that's fucking cool
I'm
as
on the
hell.
Enterprise.
We're going to talk about media that has affected us the most from a mental health standpoint in 2023. So this could be a game, a book, a movie, a TV show, a song, anything. What has affected us the most from a mental health standpoint in 2023. I'm going to give you a little heads up here. I'm going to cheat a little bit. But, Brandon, your reaction recalls the fact that doesn't recall. It calls for the fact that you need to go first. What is the single piece of media that affected you the most in 2023 from a mental well-being health standpoint? We talked about this before the show, and yes, I'm using too many words to describe this. Go.
Okay, sorry. You guys are like pausing back and forth, so my timing is weird.
No, I'm not pausing. I'm just holding still for a second.
No, I know. I mean, I'm familiar with that. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Baldur's Gate 3. That is my choice. Baldur's Gate 3 is a game for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X, by Larian Studios, and it is a Dungeons and Dragons 5e 5th edition game set in Faerun. And it's freaking awesome. It has inspired me. I'll just leave it at that. It is awesome. I assume you have more questions, David, so I should just leave it there.
Is Faerun the land in which Baldur's Gate? This is a stupid question because of course it is. That's where
Yes,
it is.
Faerun is like the world.
There's no stupid questions.
What is
except
it?
for if Baldur's Gate is in Faerun. And that's
How many dungeons?
That's dumb as fuck.
And how many dragons are in the game? Are there 3?
There's a
Because there's 3 in the title.
Whose gate is it?
Do you get through the gate at the end of the game? Is that the point? You gotta get through the
there's
gate from
three-
Baldur's?
There's 3 acts, and I'm in Baldur's Gate right now in Act 3.
Baldur's
So.
Gate 3 for 3 acts to get through the gate. I got you. So you have to have
Yeah,
3
you got it.
axes. That's how many it takes to chop through the gate. I get it. Okay.
Yeah, you nailed it. You got
Okay.
it, buddy. I'm
I
glad
don't know
we
why
did a
like
podcast
old
together.
Jewish lady is the best voice for
Yeah, it was
this
good.
Well, it's
act.
basically, I interpreted that as like you're explaining it to your grandma or something. And you
Yeah.
play this on the Nintendo?
Yeah, it's mostly,
Yeah.
Yeah,
kinda
it's
like
the
a
it's the
Nintendo.
Nintendo, Grandma.
That's what the kids play it on. It's on the Nintendo.
So what's a podcast? It's like a radio show on the internet.
It's radio, but it's on the internet. Well, what channel is it on?
It's the channel that no one listens to.
YouTube. YouTube is the channel, Grandma.
Look at that tail.
That is look at this fluffy
See?
tail you've got in your face. Look at this. Our beloved listeners would be missing out on this.
Yeah.
This is why you need to go
Yeah.
check us out on YouTube. You could see Brandon's cat and maybe my cat. He's
She
over there
kinda just
asleep.
gets
Your
in the
cat
way
has
sometimes.
definitely been in the background a couple of times.
Oh, don't lay on the keyboard. Oh.
Yeah, he's asleep now though.
I think Kira might be here, so she might be coming in here in a minute. She's getting home from
Hey,
puzzle
Ding dong.
tournament.
a puzzle tournament?
Yeah, that's right. It's
That's
exactly.
amazing.
It's exactly.
Explain.
Oh no! I'll let her
Explain
explain.
that.
Come here. Come here. Come explain what a puzzle tournament is. The
What,
fans
jigsaw
The
puzzle?
fans want to know.
Do you want to play a game?
Okay, she's shaking her head no. So yes, it's jigsaw puzzles.
Okay, what-
The same puzzle, and we had a limited time to do it.
They all had the same puzzle in a limited
So
time.
it's like a puzzle race.
yeah, puzzle race. That's a better way to put it.
Yeah.
And she got second
That makes
Did you
sense.
get-
Yeah, because we had 2 pieces that were missing.
only because there were 2 pieces that were missing, and she was with
What?
old.
Sounds
ladies
like
on her team.
somebody else was
I had
cheating
my
then.
my section done in
Her section was done
40 minutes.
in 40 minutes, and if everyone else would have got their fucking act together, they would have been first.
So I had to
Mm-hmm.
And those pieces of shit.
Those goddamn old motherfuckers.
Those old motherfuckers lost 2 pieces.
not in my section.
Mm.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What can't boomers fuck up?
not
I mean,
jigsaw
the
puzzles.
economy, the world, jigsaw puzzles.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah. That's what we're dealing with. I mean, that's the world we
Yeah.
live in.
And,
You know.
and guess who has to fucking deal with the consequences? Us.
Yeah, Kira mostly right now.
Yeah.
Mostly it's Kira.
If you could see her face right now, she's crying.
Yeah. Tears streaked down the cheeks.
She's like, "What is this
Sobbing,
world become?
vomiting uncontrollably.
Why? The children." Anyway, who was talking about what before jigsaw puzzles?
I think we were talking about the media
Brandon's
that affected us the most in 2023. I said Baldur's Gate 3. You made some classic jokes, and then I think we were going to Ryan.
Did I talk about
I'm over
fucking
here.
bears or?
I was.
That was
gonna
actually
ask.
Ryan's favorite game was fucking Bears.
Bear Fucker Simulator.
Bear fucker simulator. Yeah.
2023 edition.
It's great. Yeah.
What kind of park
Bear
ranger?
Fucker 2K23.
What kind of park ranger did you decide to be? A ranger or? I guess that's all you can be.
That's the only one you can be. Yeah. I mean, everybody was talking about that. Is that real, Brandon, in Baldur's Gate?
That you can fuck a bear?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's real?
Yeah. Yeah, you can. Not only can you fuck a bear, it's a cutscene where the bear, like, you're laying on your back and the bear's, like, descending upon you like a lover would to kiss you.
So
And
wait,
then the
the
camera
bear's the
pans-
top?
The bear's the top, my friend. And then the camera pans up to a squirrel holding an acorn, and the squirrel goes, oh, and drops the acorn. Comedic gold. Perfect.
Yeah.
Now, the bear's a druid, is the thing. The
Mhm.
bear is a druid in bear form.
Yeah, it's a yeah.
It's not
Huh.
just like a wild bear that's like, hey, come here.
Yeah. It's not like I'm gonna get
It's
you a
not
picnic
gross.
basket, baby.
It's not just a regular bear. That'd be
Yeah, that'd be fucking weird as hell.
That's
No, it's a guy
bestiality.
disguised as a bear, and he's gonna fuck you.
by becoming an actual bear.
Easy, yeah, plain vanilla.
So anyway, how is this positive towards your mental health?
Oh, how is it positive towards my mental health? Okay. So the way that it's really helped me is I've been doing a lot for D&D. As I mentioned earlier, my old podcast, I don't actually do the podcast anymore, but we still do D&D mostly every Sunday. I assume you guys don't care if I plug it. You can go
Is
to...
that podcast still up?
No. You can't download the podcast anymore, actually. The podcast is no longer available to download. So if you haven't downloaded it at this point, get fucked. Find us on YouTube because it's still there. But it's not available to like download on iTunes or anything anymore. But yeah, anyway, so it's called Dueling Ogres. Search for it on YouTube. We do D&D every Sunday on Twitch. But Baldur's Gate has helped me because the story has been fucking amazing, man. The story is so good in Baldur's Gate 3. It's really inspired me to step up my own writing. Besides podcasting, D&D has been like my other main hobby throughout the last couple of years. And a lot of writing goes into creating your own world and creating your own fantasy universe. You know, Ryan, you've done the same thing. You know how it is. And David, you've done stuff like that as well. So, you know, creating your own world and writing and stuff is fun, but it's also tough.
Yeah.
And Baldur's Gate pushed me in a lot of ways to like make things more realistic while also making them more fun. I had a moment in my head where I realized like I'm running a game for my players. Every session should have gamey elements to it. I don't need to grandstand and just tell them my story for 2 hours, you know. They're still playing a game. There should be dice rolls. There should be X, Y, and Z. So, yes, that is why it has affected me as much as it has, because I've spent countless hours working on D&D stuff specifically because of that game.
Yeah, no, that's very cool. Like I mean, beyond that, I gotta imagine just the mental escape that you could take from that. In it seemingly being the closest approximation to having a dungeon master just take you through a quest visually. That has ever been created.
Yeah.
I haven't played it myself. It's something I really, really want to play, but the praise and just what I've heard it's achieved has got to have been just a huge escape for you as well. So I can imagine that is a big mental well-being boost just to have kind of like a, you know, at the end of the day, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go check in on my characters and do my thing. And
well, it's like Skyrim. It's like how I got hooked on Skyrim for the long time. Same sort of thing, open world, you know, you can pick your characters and level them up RPG style.
Is there a actual like complete narrative, or is it just like a sandbox game?
Oh, there's a complete narrative. It's like there's 3 acts. Each act has like a map, like a big ass map, and it's here's your main quest. There's like 4 of them that go through from each act, and then there's act specific quests as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to do. Right now I'm in Act 3, just made it to Act 3, and I'm at 136 hours. If that tells you how big this fucking game is. So
yeah. No, that tells me. And I've heard it from others, so I know that's one reason that like God, it's taken me almost an entire year to get through
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, so I can only imagine like Baldur's Gate is going to be a 3-year game for me if I actually really.
My friend told me that he knows somebody who's beat the game in like 60 hours. So I mean, you can, but that's like really, I don't know how you could beat the game that quickly.
Just doing the main quest line and no like side quests or anything like that.
If you don't do the side quests, you don't level up as quickly, and the game is very challenging. Like it's balanced for you to be at the level that you're supposed to be at.
So is there just some kind of like cheese, like if you have like certain type of skills or something, you can just kind of cheese your way through it? Or?
I mean, it's based off of the D&D 5e rules, and you can cheese the D&D 5e rules all day. So,
or maybe it's just a my dad works at Nintendo situation.
That's true. It could be too. Yeah, he could just be.
And that guy's full of shit.
He gave me the secret codes.
Yeah,
yeah. But
Just like
what
I
about
saw, like when I was in high school, there was a kid who was like, "Oh, I beat Final Fantasy VII in 3 hours." And I was like, "The fuck you did."
yeah, no.
You gotta pick something believable if you're gonna
Aerith
lie
wasn't
about it.
even dead in 3 hours.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Ryan, what has brought you the most mental well-being? I guess not necessarily like joy, but the most like impactful
Um,
mental well-being is what we're looking for here from 2023
well,
media.
I got one big one and then an honorable mention, and
Ooh, honorable mentions.
the biggest one is the Apple Plus TV series Ted Lasso,
Mm.
which is fucking amazing. Like I cannot even. Okay, so the premise of the show is about an American college football coach who goes to the UK to become a professional soccer coach. And you would think from that premise alone, like, why would I give a shit about this? Because I don't give a shit about sports usually. Um, but the sports is like tangential to like the story. Like it's just the most mentally healthy, like it's a show about mental health is really what it is. And it's about unlearning toxic behaviors and deconstructing like our own personal narratives and you know learning how to be complete on our own without like the people that comprise um our identities, insofar as like how there's people around you that think you have to behave a certain way, and that sort of like reinforces certain elements of your own identity, and then it's about deconstructing that as well. And it's just it's made me cry more than once for various reasons, and I think everybody should watch it. Honestly, I
Yeah.
can't say that about many things, but I do feel like everyone should watch it and they would be better, like healthier at the end of it. It's only 3 seasons and it's like 10 or 8 episodes a season. So
Yeah, yeah. You've mentioned this on the show before, I do believe. And I wanted to go and watch it and never did because I don't have Apple TV. uh, is probably the only reason. And something that I would like to go back and watch. Um, what did the latest season come out this year, or did you just like
yeah,
catch it this
well,
year?
yeah, the last season happened this year, but I
Mm.
also only started watching it this year,
Okay, so
and I started watching it at the behest of a friend of mine named Jordan, who was like, "You have to watch this show because you are absolutely going to love it based on the things I know about you." And I was like, "It's a show about like football and stuff," but okay. And yeah, dog, like nail on the head. It was absolutely that.
yeah, right on. Yeah, I really
Hmm.
need to watch it. But is there like
No, it's really good.
is there a specific episode that stands out? Like I think of the bear, I could point to like an episode where I'm like, you need to fucking
Yes.
watch that.
I
But
mean, there's moments that stand out. Like it's, gosh, it's just so good. Like I can't even really like, I don't know. It's a very good, morally speaking, it's a good show. Like at the
mm,
end of at the end of the series, everybody is in like a much healthier place than they were at the beginning of the series, and you go on that journey with them to the point where if you were to like stop at the end and take inventory of where everybody is, you'd be like, wow, how the hell did we get here
yeah.
from where we started? Like
Right on.
it's awesome.
Right
And
on.
also too, it's just got like a bunch of really good like uplifting moments.
Okay.
Had on YouTube, and the first thing that pops up a bunch is a dart game
Yeah,
scene.
there is a scene. Yeah, there's a particular scene where he's playing darts more or less in a bar against who is sort of the main villain of the show, except for there isn't really a main villain because everybody contains multitudes.
Mm.
And uh, this individual is severely underestimating Ted because of his nature as like a sort of country bumpkin type individual. And
Yeah.
it turns out Ted is like a dart shark because he played darts with his dad every Sunday when he was a teenager. And he winds up humiliating this guy and teaching him a valuable lesson about being judgmental. And like, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Nice.
that is cool. What's your honorable mention?
Pro wrestling. I mean,
Okay.
I got nothing else. Like, just this year, I rediscovered my love of pro wrestling and how much fucking fun it is. And it's just pure, unadulterated fun. It's just, it's like muscle men whose names start with the, who have like fucking special powers and finishing moves. And they're going to do 6 stunts in the ring live on TV. And I'm like, damn, I kind of love everything about that.
And correct me
And
if I'm wrong, but you share this passion with your daughter?
yeah, and that's kind of part of it too, was it sort of like woke something up in Willow as well, where Willow was also like invested in, you know, the plot lines and the action and stuff like that. And then also too, my very dear friend Berto, I was like, hey, I need a wrestling friend. Will you get into wrestling? And he was like, I'll try it. And he's like a big brainy intellectual guy. And afterwards he was like, Ryan, I have to say that was just delightful. And so now he is like super into it and is like, he buys t-shirts. He's going to go see it live with me when we go in April. And it's been a lot of fun. And it's nice to have a thing that you share with with your kids. And I had a bunch of things like when Connor was growing up. Connor was extremely dorky, and I had a bunch of things with him, like because he liked video games and he liked movies and he liked Dungeons and Dragons and he liked comic books. And Willow doesn't have as much of a dorky side, but Willow has a deep and abiding love of anime and anime style storytelling, which is basically what pro wrestling is.
Oh yeah.
It's like soap opera drama, and also this guy has powers and this guy's a literal demon. This guy's in a cult. This guy over here, he came back from the dead. This guy's in love with this person, but this person's having this person's baby, and also they're all going to fight in a giant cage later.
Keep talking about
and it's just like
pro wrestling for a second. I'll be right back.
Okay. And it's utterly just, it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun. And also too, it's nowhere near as toxic as it was, because I remember as a kid when we would watch
the
it.
Attitude Era.
Yeah, when we would watch it, like we thought it was cool as fuck. But then you look back with, a more evolved sensibility, you can look back and be like, ugh, some of that shit was kind of gross. Like,
you mean Jerry the King Lawler?
Yeah,
literally passing out over his love of breasts.
Yes,
some of that shit was. He would call them puppies, and then
puppies, yeah,
and then fall
and
over.
He would pass out. Like, yeah, like it was extremely misogynistic. It was extremely racist. It was extremely dangerous for the athletes involved. Like, they were taking those chair shots and getting concussions, and that was before they knew about CTE and shit. And now, like, there's safety measures in place. They have like mandatory drug testing. They have like all these other things that make it a lot safer for the athletes involved, which is just also nice because you can consume it guilt free.
Yeah.
And also too, like, and this is just for me personally something I enjoy. None of them seem to be shitheads. Like the rest, I almost said actors, because I mean that's basically what they are. But the wrestlers, like, they all seem to be, even the bad guys in real life, like they all seem to be like genuinely cool people who are nice and like care about their fans and stuff, which is just nice. It's just nice.
Yeah, that is nice.
And And that has been good for my mental health as well.
Even though I was away from my mic for a second, I could still hear you. So
I know. I saw you get the cans on.
get the old cans on.
The old soup cans.
Hey there.
I'm actually
got
wearing
that
a Rowdy
string at
Roddy
the-
Piper t-shirt right now.
Nice.
Oh,
That's
that's
cool.
awesome. I made a Hell Comes to Frogtown reference. And,
It's Rowdy Roddy Piper, but he's being interviewed by one of the They Live aliens.
Nice. Nice. I like that.
That's sweet.
I like that. Well, my mental health 2023 most impactful piece of media. Brandon, I fucked it up. We talked about this.
You did your best, my friend.
It's too wordy. There's no way to not be wordy about it.
I know. 2023 best of brain fuckers.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. I came down to
fuckers.
I came down to two different things. My honorable mention is the bear. I already mentioned that. And the reason being is Jamie Lee Curtis alone. I mean, the entire thing is like an anxiety soup of trying to...
I watched the first season of The Bear, and the thing that strikes me the most about it is it's kind of the anti-Ted Lasso, because it's the same conceit but in reverse, where it's like people dealing with mental health and anxiety and stress and other types of mental health issues, but doing so poorly and getting worse.
My brother, if you only watch the first season, you gotta watch the second season. It is unbelievable. It is some of the best TV I've ever seen, like hands down. And Jamie Lee Curtis plays the mother of this family who is dealing with the loss of a brother, a son, and dealing with it very poorly. The main character has gone off to become a main chef, has left this like little like sandwich shop in Chicago that the family has owned, and has to come back when his brother basically I think commits suicide is how he dies, and dealing with like why he left them and why he left them this just shit show of this restaurant. And now you've got this brother who went off to become like this hot shit chef who worked in like a top kitchen, and coming back and dealing with this like shitty little greasy spoon sandwich shop and the people that are there who are also pissed at him for leaving the family. And they kind of blame him almost for like, you know, if you were here, maybe you could have helped your brother type of a thing, and helped him in the business and this and that. And it's just so much deeper than all of that too. And then deals with the anxiety of building this business back up and then making something better of it, and bringing people in that also have their own shit, that whether they knew the brother or not, and just all these anxieties and all these personal motivations and things that just clash so much. And every episode is like a train wreck. It's like, this shit sucks. At the end of it, you feel like you've been working a full double shift at a restaurant. It's one of the most... You know what? Fuck my non-honorable mention. This is now my like 2023
Oh, shit.
You
Yeah,
convinced
no.
yourself.
I'm in it. I know I've talked about the bear before on this show, but like I'm, you know, my honorable mention is Everything Everywhere All at Once. But anyway,
We have been there.
huh?
It's just because we have been there.
Well, yeah, and I think that is it. Kira just said it's because we've been there. Because I've worked in a restaurant before many times, and so has Kira in different restaurants. And it's just like, it encompasses the stress of a shift or a double so much and so well that it's like, literally at the end of an episode, you're like, fuck, I just worked a double. It really feels like that, because it's like, it's perfect. Like they had to have consultants on this show that were just like completely in the industry, but it really feels like that, because it's like, it's perfect. Like they had to have consultants on this show that were just like completely in the industry, but it really feels like that, because it's like, it's perfect. Like they had to have consultants on this show that were just like completely in the industry, but it really feels like that, because it's like, it's perfect. Like they had to have consultants on this show that were just like completely in the industry, but it also encompasses all of those other like family like traumas and all these things, and then you bring in. There's an episode where they do I don't think it's Thanksgiving. It might be Christmas. I don't remember what it is, but it's a family dinner, a big holiday dinner where there were this like the service of seven fishes is like the thing that they do. It's like a Catholic thing. And Jamie Lee Curtis is their mother, and she's like so stressed out in her own home kitchen, just doing all this stuff, and like smoking and like cooking and like just it's a mess. Her kitchen's a mess, and she's doing all this, and she's doing it for her family. But she's like the whole time, like her daughter's coming in, like, Mom, can I help? And she's like, fuck you, get the fuck out of here, like totally blowing up and like being crazy and stuff, and drinking and just being crazy. And then at the end, she serves this beautiful meal. Everyone's sitting down and chilling out. We're all going to sit down and eat and be civil, right? Well, Mom comes out of the kitchen like, here's the meal I provided for you. And then it just goes to shit. And it becomes this like screaming match and just like this nightmare holiday experience. But like the way that Jamie Lee Curtis portrays this character in that moment and then is seen later on in the series is award winning. Her acting and like the mental, like the addiction, the mental health, like everything through it is just in that character alone is amazing. But then that's one of 20 characters that go through these arcs. Like Cousin Richie goes through this, like you hate him and he's this like piece of shit that you fucking hate, and then he actually tries to redeem himself for his daughter and like does all this stuff, and it becomes amazing towards the end of it.
The actor that plays Cousin Richie just got cast as the Thing in the Fantastic Four
Hell
movie.
yeah, he did. Hell yeah, he did.
And that guy's a hell of an actor.
He is. Like
he was in Andor, and he has like this amazing soliloquy in Andor that just becomes like one of the best parts of the entire show.
That's right. And I didn't realize it until after the fact. I went back and started. Actually, I think once I realized he was going to be Ben Grimes, is that his name? Not Ben Grimes. What's his name? Ben Grimm. Once I realized he was going to be that character, I went back and kind of realized like, oh, he was more than just Cousin Richie. But that dude, I hated that fucker from day one. Like you're made to hate him. You're made to hate that fucker. And by the end of the series, you're like, wow, that was one of the biggest like redeeming arcs I've ever seen. Fucking crazy. So I guess the reason I say that is my biggest 2023 mental health impact is because it has something to do with very, very close to me. Ryan, I don't know that you worked in the food industry, but I know, Brandon, you have.
No, I had a fast food job in high school. That was it.
Chick-fil-A.
It's the first job I ever had was working at that Chick-fil-A, peddling chickens.
I want chicken on Sunday, motherfucker. Get with it. But I know, Brandon, you have TGA Fridays. No,
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden. You worked a couple.
Olive Garden, Ruby Tuesdays,
Ruby Tuesdays, right?
Ruby Tuesdays.
Lobster. I have a long history of restaurant work.
Yeah. So have you watched The Bear at all?
I haven't, but you've sold me on it for sure.
Dude, you got to.
What you just talked about.
Yeah. You
Although
will watch it.
Sounds draining. It sounds good, but it sounds like it's going to drain.
It is.
Right? Like
it is, but like it is very good.
It's redeeming.
I only watched the first season, but it is very it's very emotionally exhausting, but in a very rewarding way.
It's weird because it fucking sucks. Like the show, like when you watch the first two, let's say you watch the first two episodes tonight, you're gonna be like, God, like this doesn't feel good.
Yes, that was very stressful.
It does not feel good.
I really liked Louis C.K.'s show, and that show made me feel like that all the time. Every episode was like, God, everybody's just awful.
And if you like Curb Your Enthusiasm, that kind of stuff, it's a similar like, that kind of fucking sucked. But at the same time, I like it and I want to watch the rest of it, right? But I will say there are more redeeming moments well, there are few redeeming moments, but they pay off so much. It's literally like you are working to improve the characters by watching them because it's that much of an effort, but
Oh wow.
it pays off in the same way.
Okay.
So also everything everywhere all at once is really good too. And I had
I've heard,
I had a whole thing about that, but we'll talk about that some other time, I guess, because the bear.
I would like to watch that.
Yeah, you haven't seen it?
No, I would like to though.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! You gotta watch that too. Like, there's a whole like father daughter like sexual orientation, nihilism, acceptance of our meaninglessness in the universe, and yet our impact on those who are close to us and that we love, like thing that like ties into an everything bagel. And I'll leave you at that. You'll know what I mean when you watch it. And that's it. That's all I got on that. So that's my honorable mention. That was supposed to be my main topic that you could tell I prepared for, but I compacted it into a black hole of an everything bagel at the end there, which will make sense for anyone who's ever watched that movie.
Yes.
Yes, that's it. So I guess I have to continue this episode since I'm the host. So Brandon, do we have a Static
True.
Shadows to do here, or
We sure do.
fuck yeah? Where are you gonna put it?
Yeah.
In our
Oh, you
in our everything bagel hole.
Yeah, right in the everything bagel, my friends.
That's where I like it.
All right.
Oh no! Don't put it in the Discord chat, because if I pull it up there, it'll make our video go away.
Put it in the Facebook chat.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
if you don't mind, sir.
And you'll see a picture of shirtless John with Garfield laying on him if you pull up our chat. So don't do that either.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Too late.
All right. To play for Papa John's. Okay, there you go.
All right.
And then once you guys are ready with it, I will start reading because I am the one that does the intro here. I'm the narrator for this one.
You
Oh
are.
yeah, this looks like it might be difficult the way I'm looking at this, but we'll go for it.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. Go ahead.
All right, hold on.
Okay,
Static
so
Shadows. It's scary. Get fucked. Let's go.
There we go. Whenever we last left our heroes, Ryan and David, they had just escaped into an underground tunnel, a secondary underground tunnel.
A lot of
for
underground
second
tunnels.
trap door.
Yeah.
And we now find ourselves interior underground tunnel continuous. Ryan and David navigate the labyrinthine tunnels, their breaths quickening as they try to escape the relentless growls echoing around them. Oh, stuff's chasing you too. I forgot to mention that. So be spooked. Suddenly, the tunnel opens up into a larger chamber, and the boys find themselves face to face with an unexpected figure. Jason Kruger's step aunt, a haunting and twisted presence in the dimly lit space. Who wants to do Step Aunt Kruger?
I think that's you,
are
man.
doing Step
Yeah,
Aunt Kruger, my man.
definitely, definitely.
Slowly turning to face them. Well, what do we have here?
I'm so glad you made this choice with this character.
Her voice carries an eerie tone, sending chills down Ryan and David's spines. The flickering light reveals a disheveled figure with wild, unkempt hair and a sinister smile.
Who are you?
Oh, dearie, you can call me Auntie Kruger. I take care of things down here.
Things? What things?
The things that go bump in the night, my sweeties. I keep them hidden away from the world. The boys exchange uneasy glances, realizing they've stumbled into a nightmarish family secret.
We just want to leave. We don't want any trouble.
Trouble? Oh, there's always trouble in my family. But you can't leave, not now that you know our little secret. Suddenly the growls intensify, echoing from the depths of the tunnels. Shadowy figures emerge from the darkness, twisted and distorted like nightmares.
What are those things?
Auntie Kruger is grinning as she says this. My pets, darling. They've been waiting for some new playmates. As the creatures close in, the boys realize that escaping the bunker might be more difficult than they ever imagined. The air becomes heavy with tension as the underground chamber transforms into a surreal nightmare, with Auntie Kruger and her monstrous companions standing between Ryan and David and the exit.
Wow.
Where's the trap door? That's all I want to know.
We
Um,
wow.
I will, just to leave our listeners on a little bit of a cliffhanger. Ryan, if you want to read this next part here. Oh wait, did I?
Yeah.
Well, you got to read the
Oh, I
narrator.
just did. I copy the whole thing again, or where is it? Hold on, it's being stupid.
I can read it if
Okay.
you like. I see it.
Yeah, go ahead, David, please.
There! Another trap door!
So that's going to happen next time we
Oh,
do.
okay. So this is a part of next. Then okay,
Yeah,
This
that's
is
just a
preview.
little. Yeah, David spots a small hidden hatch obscured by debris in a corner of the chamber. So don't worry, guys. There's going to be more trapdoors.
I had a feeling.
I had no doubt.
Yeah.
Let's say the best way to go down. Wait, the best way to go up is to go down.
That's what they say. Well, you know what? I'm feeling a wee bit peckish, fellas.
Oh.
I think it's time for Gray Matter Munchies, at the end of show segment where we discuss what media or forms of entertainment have nourished our well-being. Everyone's mental health needs a little indulgence sometimes, so let's discuss what tasty treats we've ingested lately. Kind of feel like this entire episode kind of was that for
So,
2023. So we can do this quickly. Oh, Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing. I have the first 4 graphic novels checked out from work to read.
Cool.
So, yeah,
Alan Moore's
run
Swamp Thing. Hell yeah. Have you read
I've
any
heard
of
it's
it
very
yet?
good. I have not.
It
Okay.
gets
But
real
that's what I'm
weird.
going to ingest. And I have the first. I went on a Swamp Thing kick, so I also checked out the first season, or I guess the only season of the Swamp Thing TV show. So I'm going to read the first
the
trade,
modern
and
TV
then
show.
yes, and then check
Yeah.
out the TV show.
Yeah, read the comics first because the TV show is an adaptation of a loose adaptation of the Alan Moore stuff.
I also want to check out Resident Alien, which is totally
That show
Yeah.
is so
Alan
good.
Tudyk?
Is it?
Fuck yeah.
It's so good. It's
Okay,
so
I'm
funny.
gonna
Oh, you've
check
seen
out
it, Ryan?
tomorrow.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah, Kira and I just caught the trailer the other day, and I'm like, Alan Tudyk.
I
I'm
recommend
in.
it.
Okay,
I
check
think
it
it's
out
on-
tomorrow then.
I think it's on Hulu. It's either on Hulu or Peacock. I think.
It's
I
one
don't
of the
know,
two. Yeah,
But it's worth tracking down and watching. It's really good.
yeah,
Okay.
it looks awesome. What about you, Ryan? What's sparking your interest these days?
When I was down for the count with COVID and I had a lot of free time on my hands, I got for cheap on the PlayStation Store the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order Jedi Survivor, and I just burned through that in a series of 5 days, and it was a lot of fun. It reminded me a lot of playing Jedi Knight and Jedi Outcast
Oh
back,
yeah.
right
back
on.
in the day,
Right on.
and a little bit of Force Unleashed too. And there's just a real high level of customization in it. Like you can customize your droid and your blaster and your lightsaber and your outfit. That I really like that.
Yeah, awesome. I myself am going to recommend a Netflix show called The Devil's Plan. It's 12 episodes. Kira and I have watched it. I'm really into Korean reality game shows these days.
Interesting.
Like Siren is a really good one if you haven't watched that. But Devil's Plan, New World is another interesting one. That's probably my least favorite of those 3, but still pretty good and interesting. Because Koreans, man, think about Survivor, but think of it like as also the most elaborate escape room ever. Like just really high production value. Like,
Is this like reality show?
yeah, it's like a reality, like Survivor
Okay.
game show style shows, right?
Sounds
But
amazing.
the Koreans just know how to fucking do it, man. Like, for example, we'll talk about the one I'm talking about, which is Devil's Plan. It's basically like 12 people put in almost like Big Brother. They're put in this like place where they have no outside influence whatsoever. And they have pieces, like little like gold pieces. If they run out of pieces, then they're eliminated. That's the only way you can get eliminated. But then you play like a team game where you add into the overall the winnings at the end of the game. So everyone has to play that game together to make the jackpot bigger for whoever's going to win this game. But in that game, you can also lose pieces. So if you lose pieces and you have no pieces, you're gone.
Yeah.
But then they also have like a game at the end of the day where they're playing against each other to where they can gain more pieces and make other people lose pieces. So it's like cooperative and then not cooperative. And then at the very end of the day, the two people who have the lowest number of pieces, who have not been eliminated, go to jail. And when they're in jail, they can't play in the next cooperative game where they could possibly gain pieces and help the team get more money towards the end prize. But then they come back at the end to play the non-cooperative game. So it's like all this weird fucking shit. But then there's like little secrets hidden everywhere and like these little puzzles. Even in jail, there's like these little puzzles and hidden secrets where you can gain more pieces and like all this stuff. And then the pieces are also a puzzle. It's fucking crazy. It just feels like, imagine like if you were like 13 again and you were like, I'd like to just like play the like craziest fucking real life game. It's that. It's absolutely that. And it's just really cool. And it's cheesy, of course, and then these people like get so invested in it, like they cry all the time. It's so weird. And it's just a week. They're just like in this game for a week, but they end up like crying like all the time. It's so weird.
Wow.
But I highly, 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 highly recommend watching it. And if you watch it with the dubs. I usually like to watch these games or these types of shows with subtitles and hearing their actual voices. But this is the games are so mathematical and like so in depth and stuff that you're not going to want to have to read what they're saying and also try to keep up with the games. You're going to just want to hear English and try to keep up with the games because it's very, very, very in depth. But very cool, and I highly, highly recommend that as my.
They're so nice, even when they're.
Oh, that's the other thing. Like when you watch like an American game show like this, the people are pretty cutthroat. They're not really nice to each other. That's one thing I think is really interesting about the Korean culture is that they seem like very nice to each other. Like even like when they're like being like, I want to win, but I also want to help you. And I'm sorry that I'm sorry I won. Because you had to lose. I'm sorry, and that ends up being a lot of reason why they cry and stuff. It's just it's a completely different culture within that environment. That's also very interesting to watch how that plays out. So, just my recommendation. So,
and what was the title one more time?
The title is The Devil's Plan.
Devil's Plan. Okay.
Yeah, highly, highly recommend it. It's on Netflix. Also watch Siren if you haven't seen that. That's a really good one on Netflix as well. It's a Korean game show. That one's like fucking rough. They beat the shit out of each other. It's like a real physical, like we're gonna break into your house and steal your shit type of a game show. It's really really good. It's really good. But there you go. That's it. So that I think, sirs, was a long but very good episode. That we can call here. I guess we're gonna reach out to our resident rapper upper, Ryan Brown, to kind of talk just give us a summary. You don't have to give us a summary of the topic, which was the best 2023 mental well-being pieces of media for us, but just give us a summary of our conversation today, and bring us to an end, if you would, sir.
Finish us off.
Yeah.
Well,
just finish us both off at the same time, if you would.
well,
On camera, please.
that'll really bring in the views.
I mean, it would bring in some views.
Yeah. Everything's somebody's something, isn't it?
It is.
Well, I don't know. I think there's a lot to really unpack. I mean, I think that we have on more than one occasion. I think that we've established that, you know, meaning can be found anywhere if you are willing to like look for it, you know, and whether it's in TV or movies or comics or video games or music or whatever, like any kind of media. I mean, just like life too, you know, any kind of media can have meaning and value either extrapolated from it or superimposed on top of it. In that way, we get to choose what things mean. And I mean, I think the same thing can kind of be said of life. If life has no inherent meaning, then you get to decide what your life means. You know what So
Yeah.
I think that, you know, the same thing can be said of the media that we consume. Like, artist intention aside, if you get a particular message out of anything, really, like, it's equally as valid. You know, the emotions that it creates in you, for good and for ill, are real things that you're feeling. And so, you know, everything has or can have value, meaning, or a message. So, yeah.
This is
That's
why.
you're the resident.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't even have to finish that sentence. We
Nope. We all know, listeners. We all know. This
we
is
all know.
why.
This is why. This is why. Very well put, Ryan.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
The only other thing that can be said at this point is that I've been David Musgrave, the man kissed by all angels, and with me, as always, is
Brandon Full, Shepherd of the Forest, and with me, as always, is
Your very best friend, Ryan Brown, and collectively, three of us are probably not okay.
I love you guys. Have a good night.
Foreskin.